How to improve writing skill in English? This is one of the questions I get asked quite often, that how did you improve your writing skill in English? Because I truly believe that writing is one of the skills that can literally change your entire life, because you can impress people with the help of your writing. You have to write emails, you have to get ready your presentation, you have to get ready your assignment, and all these things matter a lot. And it can only be done when you are really good at writing. You know how to just convey your messages, you know how to write in a way that can be appreciated by others. Although I am not pro at writing in English, nor have I mastered the art of writing, but I am someone who has been writing a lot lately, and I'm someone who was horrible at writing. I remember back in high school, I was not even good at spelling. Like, I literally used to make spelling errors quite often. But now, when I look at myself, I have been writing 10 to 15 pages almost every single day. Okay, actually, I'm writing because of my own reason, but I can tell you one thing, that I have improved a lot over time. But the disclaimer here is all the steps and tips I'm going to give here is based on my experience, that what has been working for me and how did I get better at it. So let's begin. If you want to get better at writing, the number one thing you are going to focus on, and it is one of the steps a lot of people get wrong with and a lot of people avoid, and it is learning new words. See, learning new words will help you a lot and help you stand out in the crowd, not because it is going to make you sound impressive, but if you are repeating same words over and over again, with time it gets monotonous. Now, don't get me wrong. When you are speaking and you are repeating a couple of words here and there, it's absolutely normal. But when it comes to writing, you have to focus on using synonyms if you get to use the same word over and over again. And it is only possible when you have decent level of vocabulary, when you know how to play with the words, when you have good understanding of new words that can help you to write in a way that can persuade people as well as impress others. Now, whenever I say that you have to learn new words, I certainly do not mean that you have to go to Google and search the list of vocabulary that can make you sound, impressive, or that sounds like a business English. Not at all. It can only be done just by focusing on one step, and that is reading. I mean, at least this is how I am improving my vocabulary. I do not need to go to Google to search new vocabulary. I don't just go here and there to look for new words that can make me sound impressive. All I do is read every single day. Well, it's completely up to you what you want to read. I'm not telling you to read books or to read emails or to read articles. It's completely up to you. But you need to know that what kind of words you can use whenever you are writing. So whenever you are reading, just pay enough attention to the kind of words have been used in the sentence or in the paragraph, and it will help you to understand how to play with the words. Since I spoke about learning new words, there's another point I want to emphasize, and that is do not run behind fancy words. Please never ever use fancy words when you are writing for others. This is one of the common mistakes a lot of people make, thinking that with the help of fancy words, they are going to sound stellar or they are going to impress others. But in reality, it doesn't. I mean, before using any fancy words, just answer this question to yourself. Why are you writing that email, or why are you writing that presentation, or whatever you are writing? Why are you writing that? Just to make your points clear, right? Just to articulate your ideas, right? Just to make others understand what you are thinking about. But if you are writing fancy words or those kind of words that doesn't really make sense, well, I'm talking about that kind of bizarre words, like especially phrases like now those what is it called? It's like Gen Z words, like never ever use them. Please, this is something I've learned in a very hard way. Initially, I used to focus on learning business words, like business English. I remember going to Google and searching the list of business English so that I can sound impressive. But after taking a couple of courses and after focusing on writing, I get to learn one thing, that don't run behind fancy words, because your motive, your purpose is just to make your points clear. And you have to write in a way that can be understood by even fifth grader or by someone who is in 3 or 4th standard. So like that should be your motive. As I spoke about using simple words and not running behind those bizarre and fancy words just to impress others, there is another surprising thing I have recently learned, and that has changed my entire perspective, and that is just use simple sentences. Don't really try to overcomplicate it. I mean, in school, where we were always told that you have to write a paragraph. That could be of 6 sentences, that could 6 lines, that could be of 10 lines, that could be even more than that. But I've recently learned that whenever you are writing any email, whenever you are writing a presentation or anything that goes more like a formal, don't do that. Just try to keep it minimal. Try to write it in a very simple way by using simple words. And the reason behind is very simple, because our mind always looks for easy, simple, and those things that looks more safe. So whenever there is any paragraph, your mind would actually give you a hint that don't go this side because it looks more complicated. And if you have written anything in the opposite direction, your mind will always tell you to go in this direction. I mean, I'm sure you must have noticed that. So this is something we were always told, that try to write in a very small sentences. Don't focus on writing a paragraph like a student, like the way our books are written. Since I spoke about using simple words and not overcomplicating the entire paragraph, there's another thing I have learned, and that is use unnecessary words, aka trim. Trim, trim, trim. You literally have to cut down unnecessary words. And by saying this, I mean, let me give you an example. I have noticed one thing, that sometimes I could make my points very clear within just 10 words. But I try to overcomplicate it by using 20 words. Like, why are we doing it? If we can make our points clear just by using 10 to 15 words, we don't have to use 30 to 40 words just to explain the same thing. And this is something you have to focus on. If you really want to be better at writing, if you want to get better at writing effectively, you must pay enough attention to just cutting down unnecessary words that will look more concise, because your focus is just to make your points clear. I mean, why are you trying to fill the page? Why are you trying to use unnecessary words that does not add any value? And this is something I have learned, that it goes like this: cut down all the unnecessary words that does not add any value in your sentence, and it is just amazing. It has literally blown my mind, because I have been writing a lot lately, and it just helps me to just go with the flow and do not overcomplicate it. So it can be done in this way. Once you have written the entire email or whatever you are writing, just go through them and cut down all the unnecessary words, and you're good to go. You can easily impress your boss or anybody who you are trying to. Despite having followed all the steps and all the tricks, tips, whatever I have given you right now, if you don't pay enough attention to this one step, probably all of your efforts will go in vain. And it is one of the steps a lot of people avoid, and that is actually writing. You have to sit and write. Whether you could write in Google Doc or you could use any pen or paper, whatever seems comfortable to you. Now, when we were talking about improving our language skill, you avoided, like you always neglected the whole part of writing. That was okay. But right now, you have to improve your writing skill. And if you want to build any skill, if you want to get better at anything, you actually have to do it without making any excuse. So right now you have to focus on improving your writing skill. Regardless of how busy you are, how I forgot the word. I mean, regardless of how busy you are, what kind of excuses you have, like whatever it is, you have to sit and write. See, writing itself is not enough to get better at writing. First of all, you actually have to read good copy. You actually have to read good emails, good presentations, good assignments, whatever it is, so that you can have the whole idea of how to write in a way that can persuade people, that can impress others, and that can help you stand out in the crowd. And it can only be done by reading good copy, good emails. So you can read the bunch of emails, you can read the bunch of articles to help you understand how to just structure sentences, how to assemble your thoughts in a way that actually sounds impressive. Now, some of you might say that I make a lot of grammatical errors. So, how would I realize about my errors? Like, who is going to correct my mistakes? And how would I understand that the sentences I have written are correct or not? So, the only answer I have is you actually have to write. Because, see, no matter what skills you want to learn, you will have to sit and make mistakes so that you can learn with that mistakes. This is something we were always told. Even while speaking, if you want to improve your English, you will have to speak as much as you can, even if you're making mistakes. The same rule applies when it comes to improving your writing skill. If I would talk about the resources, although I do not rely on resources, but if you find anyone, then that would be way better for you. But lately, I've been using only two resources. One of them is ChatGPT. Well, don't really dare to copy and paste ChatGPT because it will literally ruin the reputations you have built so far. So don't you dare to do that. Instead, you could go to ChatGPT, give the prompt like what kind of information you're looking for, and then ChatGPT will give the entire idea or the paragraph or the article, whatever you are looking for, and then try to write it in your own way. And the another resources I've been using that is called Grammarly or something. I still struggle with the pronunciation of this one word. All right, so I think it looks really cool to me because whenever you are writing, it will help you to understand what words you could have used instead. It will also correct your spelling errors as well as it will also help you to understand that how does it look like. Sometimes you can set everything. You can give the prompt like, okay, I want kind of professional or informal, or I want something conversational, something like that. Although I don't have much idea about it because I have not explored much, but so far it has been giving me the best result and it makes a lot sense to me. So if you're someone who is struggling with grammatical errors or spelling errors, it will help you so much to go with the flow. So that's all about this video. I hope I could make sense because I made this video out of nowhere. I was literally sitting and brainstorming and suddenly got the whole idea of filming this video because a lot of you have asked me this question that how to improve writing skill. So I thought, okay, let me make a video on this topic. I hope I could give you some valuable tips and made some sense. So thank you so much for watching this video and I will be back with an interesting and amazing content very soon. Bye bye.